Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the premiere of Book 3 of Legend of Korra. It's a good, exciting Book 3. In this episode, we're going to be reviewing The Earth Queen.
Why do you keep going?
Welcome back to KORRACAST. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the Earth Queen. We have a lot to talk about, and I hope you want to hear us say the things that we're going to say.
You can close the browser if you don't. It's not that difficult. Please don't, though.
No.
Follow us on things. Follow us on this and this and this and this, and like us on the and just do those things. So the third episode carried on a lot of the threads that were introduced in the first two episodes, but we got a couple new things. Let's talk about those new things. We're back to Ba Sing Se. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel good. It makes me feel good inside.
Well, it was funny because like when I was watching it and I saw Ba Sing Se like for the first time, I was like, oh my god, I'm getting some feels. And then the first thing that happened is like, oh, this place smells horrible. And I was like,
oh man,
I don't feel as good anymore.
It doesn't feel good. Don't feel good at all.
I do say, I think I even mentioned when we were watching it that this so far feels a lot like season 2 or book 2 of the original series.
You know,
partially it might be because just of the setting, which goes a long way.
It's kind of funny because we have 4 seasons of Legend of Korra, and we're at the halfway point of the entire series. If you think about it, at the exact halfway point in the middle of book 2 of the first series, they were arriving at Ba Sing Se. Yeah. So I don't know if that means anything.
It's like poetry.
It's like poetry.
It just kind of rhymes with the next. Hopefully it'll work out.
So if there wasn't enough on our plate already with the Airbender thing and the 4 bad dudes breaking out of jail, now we got an Earth Queen, as implied by the title of the episode.
Yeah, she exists in the series.
So what do you guys think about that?
She's good. I think she's more indicative of this series, not this book, but this series as a whole being a little bit more mature. Right? It's less black and white. The people in power often aren't the ones who know and can do things good, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, Ba Sing Se, they're still corrupt. We still have a weird, backhanded Secret Service thing controlling things.
I like the fact that she talked about how she kind of blamed Korra for the fact that Aang and Zuko took Republic City, which was like Earth Kingdom territory. Right. She took it from her, which was, that's kind of a cool little throwback.
Yeah, we were talking about when we reviewed The Rift if this was going to be relevant, because all the comics that have been in between each season have kind of had loose threads, and The Rift was kind of continuing on we're taking more land and whatever, and okay, maybe it will, but that's cool that the things that happened in the past are still important. We're still dealing with them. So that's it.
So Mako and Bolin.
Backstory. I've been wanting backstory of Mako and Bolin since the beginning of the series, and it took a little while, but I'm actually enjoying it.
They had that. Remember, they had that little like weird animation thing where it showed them as kids. I don't know. If
yeah,
you saw that
they put them on like Nick.com or something.
Those kind of showed a little bit of it, like how they walked around.
Yeah,
That's how we found Pabu and stuff. But it was cool. I almost felt like they gave us too much right at the beginning. Like, oh, what a coincidence that Mako and Bolin, they fall down and they immediately, didn't it almost seem like, and considering how Ba Sing Se, like, there's a lot of weird, things going on with the Dai Li, and like, there's a lot of undercover things. Could it be that it's like just too much of a coincidence and that something like is actually happening and these people aren't really their family?
No, that's not really how I think Mike and Brian tell stories. Like when they present with something like this, it's going to be real, because otherwise it's kind of like wasted screen time. You know what I mean? Because they took a long time going into the backstory and stuff. The only question I kind of had was like, well, if they kind of just stumbled onto them, like, did Mako and Bolin never know that they would have had family there? Like, they never took the time out of their day to like, hey, you know what? Let's go see if we have family back in the city. Like,
to me, it was just like a good storytelling, because obviously Bolin had said he's planning on doing that and stuff. So I had always imagined they were going to at some point, but instead of wasting time of them getting back to the capital, now let's go back and find their grandma again. Like, let's just let's
just do it right now. We're here. Let's do it.
And in terms of the complexity or maybe the hidden plots kind of beneath it, I don't know. I actually appreciated it and liked it because I wanted their backstory for a long time too. I think everyone did, right? Yeah. But I liked how simple it was. It was a tragic story, but it was clear, and it was like, okay, it wasn't some crazy like, oh, they were hidden orphans, from the king and stuff, and they had to be like, no, it was just it made sense, and it was relatable, and just being there and like the time when they hugged their grandma and stuff, that was really a poignant moment.
And it fleshes out the world too, because it gives you a sense of what it's like to live in the the outer ring of Ba Sing Se, and it makes the original series feel better because we get it. It adds to the universe. Mm-hmm. Even in just these two little characters, it makes the world bigger. It's a beautiful thing.
But I don't know. I mean, it's sort of a tragedy though too at the same time because Zuko, he's not gonna have his scarf anymore. So.
You mean Mako?
Mako, dang.
You ruined that joke that you tried to tell. You tried to have a funny moment. You tried to be funny in KORRACAST.
Hey, it's okay.
You tried to be funny in KORRACAST.
Cut that out.
Hey, I'm not gonna cut it out. All of this is staying.
Hey.
Speaking of Zuko.
Yeah, Zuko's back.
Zuko. Not only is Zuko back, he's hanging out with my favorite two characters of Book 2, Eska and Desna, who are also back. I didn't actually think we were gonna see him again.
Yeah, I kind of was.
But they're there. Zuko's there. They're buddies. They're going to investigate some bad dudes. I like it.
That conversation in the elevator, like that whole scene was just awesome. I mean, there wasn't much that exactly happened this episode, but man, I can't wait for a crazy water firebending fight with Explosion Lady in the next coming episode or whatever that we know is gonna and
she's gonna break out. I mean,
well, yeah.
Well, I mean, if anyone knows how to combat Explosion Fire Lady, it's gonna be Zuko, right? He took out Combustion Man, so he knows what to do. Yeah, I guess technically Sokka.
No, Sokka did.
With a boomerang. Well, then all it takes is a boomerang.
We're gonna need to get Sokka.
Sokka's dead. He got assassinated.
The world's over then.
There's no hope for any of it.
Yeah.
Boomerang.
But I mean, all in all, it is nice just to have Zuko back finally. It's too bad he's gonna die.
Yeah, it's too bad he's gonna die this season.
There's no absolute certainty he's gonna die.
There's no absolute certainty of anything. There's no absolute certainty that you're not gonna die today.
Don't kill me, please.
No, there's some certainty.
I mean, it's within your power to murder me, if that's what you're saying.
It is. What did you guys think of Kai?
I don't like him.
I like him.
He's a little.
Because of that, I don't like you.
He's a little chump brat.
He jumped the chump.
He jumped the chump. He's around like, hey, look at me, I'm charming like Aladdin. Like, no, you don't even have a monkey. Get out of here.
So Kai's okay. So I will say I think Kai's story feels a little bit cliche, especially since last season we had the humble thief, Avatar 1. So we got another reformed thief story, but I don't know. I like him still.
I don't know if I like him, but I will say to me he doesn't detract from anything so far. So he's a neutral factor.
Okay. So and he also helped in leading us to this new plot line that apparently Ba Sing Se is trying to raise a secret Airbender army. So
how can they force people into?
Well, because they can brainwash them. We know that from the first series.
Oh yeah, they can do that. How? I'm retarded.
Save that clip.
Well, please don't use that. You probably.
When I'm the only one editing, I get to decide what goes in the episode.
Integrate that into the opening montage of introducing all of us. Okay. I'm retarded. Vince.
Make that like a separate.
So for this week's video response question, we just want you to make your best prediction as to where everything's going. Now that we don't know, we don't have any more episodes. We ran out of episodes, so make a prediction. Hey, can you zoom out onto all of us? Just zoom out.
Well, it can't if it's too close.
It's gonna just be like half of Ryan.
It is.
Here, just pan around to everyone.
Constantly.
Just pan around to everyone and everyone wave goodbye.
Na 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 na
na na. Na, 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 na.
Queen. Why do you keep going? Clearly, that wasn't good.
No, I got it. In this episode, we're going to be reviewing the episode number 3.
You put up like Earth 5 fingers.
In this episode, we're going to review episode number 3 of the Earth Queen.
I like that show. The Earth Queen.
The Earth Queen is a brand new hit series on Nickelodeon.
It's a spin-off series
starring iCarly.
The widely popular iCarly.
All right, let's get right down to brass
Wait, that's the
tacks.
intro?
No, like